Hello, and welcome to our virtual Lunch and Learn. Today we're talking about FactoryTalk AssetCentre, why change management solutions are beneficial to your operations. My name is Leanne Ireland, and I'm the Marketing Project Manager here at McNaughton-McKay Electric Company. Presenting for us today is Scott Pafford, Automation Consultant out of our LaGrange, Georgia branch. Out in the comments section, ready to answer your questions is Craig Dunson, an automation consultant out of our LaGrange, Georgia branch as well. We'll also have the Q&A portion at the end for Scott to answer your questions in more depth. We'll be getting started shortly, but we'd like to allow a few minutes for attendees to join us. As you come in, let us know where you're tuning in from in the comments. You can view recordings of previous virtual Lunch and Learns on our YouTube channel under the Virtual Lunch and Learn playlist. And we cover a new topic every Wednesday at noon. So be sure to join us on your lunch break. For anyone just joining us, welcome to our virtual Lunch and Learn, FactoryTalk AssetCentre, why change management solutions are beneficial to your operations. Let us know where you're joining from in the comments. We'll be looking for questions as you have them in the comments while our presenter, Scott Pafford, discusses FactoryTalk AssetCentre, why change management solutions are beneficial to your operations. Our specialist, Craig, is ready to respond to your questions in the comments as we go along. And we'll have a Q&A segment at the end of Scott's presentation. If you'd like to reach out afterward, or if you have further questions for Scott, you can send us an email at macamaclive@mc-mc.com. Be sure to let us know which session you attended, and we'll direct your questions to Scott. We'll have that email address on the screen for you at the end as well. It looks like we have quite a few attendees now. Let's get started. Scott, I'll pass it over to you now.
All right. Thank you, Leanne. So I wanted to talk about AssetCentre today because when I was asked to sponsor one of these Lunch and Learns, I reviewed all the previous topics and I did not see AssetCentre. And because asset management is such an important topic, I felt like it needed to be covered in our Lunch and Learn series. So as Leanne mentioned, my name is Scott Pafford. I'm an automation consultant in Georgia. My question and answer guru, Craig Dunson, is available in the chat to answer any questions you might have. So with that intro, let's get started. So today, we want to cover asset management capabilities at a high level. We're going to start with some reasons why you might consider using an asset management solution. We're going to walk through the major capabilities of AssetCentre and show you how you could benefit from it. Then I'm going to summarize what's new in version 10 and what was recently released. That was recently released this past fall. And finally, I want to point you in the right direction when looking for more information about AssetCentre. So like I said, I'm going to cover things at a high level. So my goal is to give enough information to get you interested and I want you to come and try to learn some more. So why do you need an asset management solution? Well, ask yourself, where can value be added in your facility? Is poor quality a result of unauthorized changes to controller configuration? Or what if something failed and you cannot find the appropriate file to download to a controller or to a drive? So unsecured and unmanaged systems can adversely impact production in many ways, and that's why AssetCentre could help your organization. So let's begin by defining what an automation asset is. So in industrial terms, automation assets are smart devices. They are devices that are configured or programmed. Some examples would be PLCs, HMIs, drives, robots, switches, process devices such as that. And industrial organizations have hundreds or thousands of automation assets. And typically, more and more of these assets are being added to the plant. And most of them, if not all, need to connect to some sort of network because they are critical to the overall operations. So machines, lines, systems all rely on the correct program and component configuration in order to run properly. So as the automation assets grow, the risk increases as more of these devices get added to the network and they may not be managed. So many of the following challenges are examples that individuals in operations, maintenance, and engineering face today. So one of the most common scenarios is, like, say a machine loses power and the failure results in a loss of configuration files or a program becomes corrupt. What do? Does your organization have a process in place to recover from that? If not, it could lead to extended downtime, which could be expensive. Another scenario would be production environment changes. Say an engineer might make a change to a PLC code in order to run while something in the field is being fixed. And then he or she walks away or forgets about the change, and that's not documented. How do you manage that? Do you have an audit trail on changes and the process to recover from the last known good state? Another example might be where unauthorized users access your controllers or smart devices, make a change on purpose or by accident, or the wrong configuration file gets downloaded to a controller. An OEM or supplier comes into your facility to service equipment that you're left with, say, an old copy of the program versus what is actually running. So all of these scenarios are rather common. And how do we recover from any of these scenarios? That's where AssetCentre can help you. So far, we've been discussing possible business risks and why managing these assets should be a critical function for any organization, right? So now we're going to talk through Rockwell's asset management capability to provide you perspective on how it can help. So AssetCentre is split into a number of capabilities. One of the main capabilities is the ability to archive files for version control. The archive allows you to manage critical configuration and program files in an electronic repository. You can add files like Studio 5000 ACD files, Microsoft Office files like Word or Excel. You can add CAD drawings, even PDF manuals. So all of those can be added to the archive. The archive repository allows you to keep version history on each file. As edits are made, the archive keeps track of the version history with a username and timestamp. So what if two people wanted to modify the same file? Well, that's when the check-in, check-out feature comes in handy. A user would check out a file to edit. Once the edits are completed, the user would check the file back in. Now, can two people edit the same file at the same time? Well, the answer is no. While the user is editing the file, it's read-only to all the other users. So let's talk about disaster recovery. So disaster recovery allows for automated backup and compares the files. If a difference is found, then an event's generated and a difference report is created. Auditing. The audit capability tracks any changes that are made, who made the change, when the change occurred, and from what client that change was made. And security restricts the access to assets based on a user's role or area of the facility being managed. Policies can be set around who can manage app archives, create schedules, view logs, etc. And secured communication exists between the server, the agent, and the client. I'm going to explain those in the next few slides. And extensibility allows for third-party devices support. So the FactoryTalk AssetCentre system is designed to grow with customers' needs. Every system starts with FactoryTalk AssetCentre server because it's the core of the system. The server includes the archive, the check-in, check-out capability, the events and audits, security, and license for 10 assets. Next, the user would determine the system size based on the number of assets. The asset capacity is additive and it can grow with the customer's system needs. And finally, based on those needs, the user can select optional capabilities like disaster recovery, additional agents, and inventory agent. So now let's look at the architecture, walk through the core components. So AssetCentre is made of 3 key pieces: the server, the client, the agent. The server is the core to all the capabilities. It serves up schedules, it governs the system operations. It hands out all the tasks and keeps track of progress. The client is used as the front end to configure the server and visualize systems operations, logs, reports, such as that. The agent is the workhorse that executes the tasks, like backing up a controller, running compare, execute search operations, generating reports. The agents can be grouped where they can be segregated based on specific tasks by area of the plant or by critical assets. Microsoft SQL Server Express comes with AssetCentre to house all of the data. However, you can use SQL Standard, and that's recommended to use for larger systems. The AssetCentre system is robust enough to support a highly distributed architecture using multiple computers to host the various components, or it can be deployed in a simplified architecture. Additional AssetCentre agents can be added to handle systems with higher asset counts. And AssetCentre Scheduler automatically load balances tasks across agents. So if an agent fails, the system automatically adjusts. So hopefully this gives you a high-level overview of the architecture and what role each component plays within the system. So in summary, we talked about several capabilities that AssetCentre provides, from disaster recovery, reporting, security, archiving. They all help execute on both tactical and strategic objectives for your organization. We discussed downtime and how archive and disaster recovery features can help. Security is a huge capability in managing authorization, and the audit trail keeps track of all the changes within the system. So what's new with version 10? So version 10 of AssetCentre was released at the beginning of October with the release of version 33 of Studio 5000. And here's a list of the major enhancements that were implemented in version 10. So we're going to describe a few of these. So some challenges in the past include assets that were separated by long distances and disaster recovery was needed. So version 10 supports widely distributed devices. Now, this isn't suited for enterprise deployments, but targets industries such as water, wastewater facilities, and oil and gas fields, where central headquarters is located many miles away from pump stations or oil fields. Another enhancement, product lifecycle status has been improved, where new capabilities now exist with the asset inventory, where you know the most current minor release for an asset as well as the latest major release. And it also includes links to release notes and safety advisories. So if you're looking to determine the most current firmware for a particular device, this feature is very helpful. So many customers want their asset center system to support more Rockwell devices. So Rockwell has added additional devices supported by disaster recovery. And those include your high performance compact logics and control logics, Stratix 5800 switch, the E300 overload relay, and the PowerFlex 755T drive. And another feature added with version 10 is integration with Thin Manager, where you can configure a Thin Manager client to use Asset Center's archive checkout capability. And what about file comparisons? So version 10 provides an improved ASCII file compare engine for archive, version to version, and disaster recovery comparisons, where differences between the two files can be highlighted. And another enhancement, some customer applications require access to more log information. So with version 10, it allows additional audit event diagnostic log entries where users can compare from 500 to 5,000 log entries. Not necessarily an enhancement, but some, I need to mention this, some process related capabilities have been taken away with version 10. This includes the process device configuration and calibration management. If these features are important to you or your customers, then continuing to use version 9 or earlier may be an option for you. If that's not possible and upgrading beyond version 9 is required, then I would suggest contacting your local McNaughton-McKay distributor, as we may have some answers with Encompass partners. Rockwell's always trying to stretch the limits of Asset Center. So design architecture has increased for large systems. So with version 10, the number of supported agents increases from 35 to 50, and clients are increased to 150 per Asset Center server. Version 10 also expanded support for third-party assets and disaster recovery options for non-Rockwell devices. Any third-party device that supports an FTP server is supported. Like, for instance, your Fanuc robots or Cognex cameras. So basically, in summary, the major enhancements in version 10 include improved asset lifecycle views, additional disaster recovery and system architecture support, and archive checkout integration with Thin Manager. So you may be wondering, so what's the roadmap? What's the future for Asset Center? Well, naturally, it's Rockwell's strategy to continue to grow the native asset support for Rockwell Automation products. And it also includes continuing to grow support for third-party assets. Rockwell also plans to continue to expand and modernize the user experience, enhance inventory management, and eventually work towards cloud-enabled and enterprise versions. So that kind of gives you an idea of what to expect in the future. All right, would you like to learn some more about AssetCentre? If so, please use this link. We should be able to include that in the question and answer section. And from that link, you will find a variety of technical information, including demos and other videos, product profile documentation, customer success stories, user guides such as that. And if you would like a copy of this slide deck, you can request it at Mac and Mac Live at mc-mc.com. I think that does it for me. Thank you so much for your time today. I hope you learned something that you previously did not know about AssetCentre and its capabilities. Thanks again.
Thanks, Scott. We don't have any live questions in the chat right now, but we'll give everyone a few minutes to see if they have anything that they want to ask. While we wait, I'd like to remind you that you can always reach out to us at the email address there on the screen at macmaclive@mc-mc.com. You can send us your questions even after this live stream has ended, and we'll pass them along to Scott or whoever the video you're looking at, and then they will reach out to you directly with an answer. Just be sure to let us know the name of the session in your email so we can get your question to the right person. Okay, thank you, Scott and Craig, for being our resources out in the comment, and thank you all for viewing our live stream today. We hope this session was informative and engaging for you. Remember to subscribe to the McNaughton-McKay YouTube channel for more industry content, and we look forward to seeing you live again soon. Have a great day.